Have you ever noticed how some women don't flirt in a direct way? Instead, they check your awareness quietly, especially when you are a man over 50. Women act differently around you. They do not want to appear needy. They do not want to seem too easy, so they ask certain things instead. And here is what most men do not understand. A woman who feels drawn to an older man will almost always ask two very specific questions. It is like a message hidden in plain sight. Before I reveal them, do me a small favor. Tap the like button and comment if you have ever missed a woman's signal and only understood it later. Your engagement helps this reach more men who need it. Men over 50 often think they are invisible to younger women, or even women their own age. But the truth is completely different. Mature men are often more attractive than ever when they actually understand female behavior. The real problem isn't women. It is misunderstanding. It is moving through life thinking she's just being nice when she was actually inviting you in. Women rarely show interest openly. They test your emotional calm, your presence, and your ability to notice small details. Feminine psychology works in subtle ways, and when a woman begins to view you as someone she can trust emotionally, physically, and intimately, her energy shifts from casual talk to intentional curiosity. She begins asking questions designed to reveal three things: your strength as a man, whether you are steady or insecure, your emotional and practical availability, and your awareness, meaning whether you can recognize genuine interest. This is exactly when the two key questions appear. But to understand why they matter so much, you need to see the psychological truth behind them. Many men over 50 expect clear, simple signs because they were raised in a time when people spoke more directly. But women today, even mature women, express interest in a different way. They do not say, I am attracted to you, I want to. Emotional maturity versus physical attraction, get closer, I am thinking of you romantically. Instead, they explore. Women often ask carefully chosen questions to see whether you are a man. They can move toward without feeling rejected because here is the quiet feminine fear, especially with older men. If she shows her interest too clearly, she worries he will think she's needy. So she hides her attraction inside curiosity. She places it in questions that look harmless to a man who isn't paying attention. And if you do not notice them, she usually won't repeat the offer. Women rarely present the same emotional invitation twice. Feminine psychology is layered. Women use questions the way men use actions. When a man is drawn to someone, he offers help, direction, support, or protection. When a woman is drawn to someone, she asks the question that hints at closeness. There are endless questions a woman might ask in daily life, but only two appear consistently when she is gently exploring intimacy with a mature man. I will share them soon. But first, recognize something important. She does not ask because she's trying to pry into your life. She asks because she wants to sense your emotional warmth. She wants to feel, is he calm? Is he steady? Is he open to my energy? Does he stand in his masculine or hide behind politeness? These questions are not about information. They are about connection. They create a small pull between you and her. Think snorts of them is emotional. Bridges she places carefully to see whether you step onto them with presence, and when you do, everything shifts in her mind and her body. Most men respond to these questions at face value, but a wiser, more grounded man understands the deeper meaning behind her words. Because when she asks them, she isn't collecting data. She is checking alignment. She is checking your awareness. She is checking whether you are the kind of man who notices things beneath the surface. When a woman is drawn to you, she does not need you to show off money, strength, or stories. She needs to feel that you are conscious, present, and calm. These two questions matter because they are not random curiosity. They are invitations. The first question she asks a man she desires is meant to uncover one thing: your availability. Not your calendar, but your heart. She wants to sense whether your life has emotional space for her. It is not a practical question. It is a psychological one. It is her way of saying, are you open or closed? Can you connect, or are you hiding in your routines? Can I come closer without the hidden psychology behind attraction feeling pushed back? Women not like wasting emotional effort, so they test for openness before they reveal deeper interest. This first question is her version of a man leaning a little closer to see whether the woman leans in or steps away. But most men miss this completely because they assume she is just chatting. The second question she asks when she wants intimacy is about your direction. Not your goals or your career, but your inner direction. She wants to know if your life has purpose, movement, and masculine steadiness. Women do not open to men who drift. They open to men who are anchored, men who know who they are and where they stand. This question tells her, is this man emotionally alive? Does he carry himself with stability? Can I feel safe around his presence? Does he have boundaries, or is he floating through life? The second question isn't about details. It is about your core. When she asks it, she's imagining what being close to you would feel like. A woman might feel drawn to a man's body, but she only moves toward him when she desires his presence. And this question becomes her doorway into sensing the man you truly are. These questions matter deeply for men over 50. By the time a man reaches his 50s or 60s, many women assume something about him. They believe he has already lived most of his emotional stories. So they hesitate to step into his life unless they feel certain they won't become just a side character. These two questions are soft, simple, almost invisible, are her way of checking whether there is space for her and whether the man she wants is living with purpose or just moving through life. You can ignore compliments, you can overlook body cues, but if you miss these two questions, you miss the moment a woman is trying to open a door. And once a door closes, most women do not open it again. When a woman wants intimacy with an older man, not just friendly conversation, but real emotional and physical closeness, she tests the way she is. She tests that connection with two specific questions. These questions repeat across cultures, ages, and backgrounds because they come straight from feminine psychology. Here they are. The first question: do you spend a lot of time alone? It sounds harmless, but it's not. It is her way of asking, is there room? First question: woman always tests for me in his world. Is he open or closed off? Does he have space for closeness, or is he locked inside his habits? Women ask it in different forms, like, do you usually go out alone? Do you keep to yourself? If you seem like a man who likes solitude, are you seeing anyone or just doing your own thing lately? This question is never about loneliness. It is about access. A woman asks it only when she has already pictured herself in your space, somewhere near your life. She is trying to learn whether you are welcoming or emotionally unavailable. If she did not feel anything for you, she would not care how you spend your time. But when she feels drawn to the stability and calm many mature men carry, she wants to know if she can enter your world without forcing her presence. Most men reply to literally, yes, I am alone a lot. No, not really. It depends. But a steady man hears the meaning behind it. She is checking your openness. She is testing your availability. She is seeing whether closeness with you is truly possible. To answer in a way that builds attraction, stay balanced, calm, steady, and open, but never needy. Say something like, I enjoy my space, but I'm always open to good company. Or, I like my routines, but I'm open to someone who adds something meaningful. This does two things at once. It tells her you are emotionally open without being desperate, and it gently hints that she might be someone you could let into your life. This tone is exactly what women want. Open, but not empty. Receptive, but not needy. And strong without being cold. When you respond this way, she feels warmth, possibility, and emotional safety. And that naturally leads her to the second question, the one that reveals her deeper interest. The second question is, what are you looking for these days? This question is never casual. It is not small talk. It is not simple curiosity. It is a woman exploring you as a romantic option. If she felt nothing for you, she would never risk something so direct. It feels too personal, too exposed, and too intimate. Women save this question for men they see as potentially meaningful in their lives. And again, she may phrase it differently. What do you want in your life right now? What direction are you moving in? What are you focusing on lately? What do you want at this stage of life? What are you hoping to find these days? Women ask the second question to understand your inner direction. For a woman to open herself emotionally or physically to a man, especially a mature man, she needs to feel something important. She needs to sense that he knows who he is. He knows what he wants. He's not wandering through life. He's not stuck in old emotional stories. He is not just filling time. He moves with intention. This question helps her see, is this man's life headed somewhere I could walk, who powers safety and emotional leadership toward? Does he have emotional purpose, physical purpose, and relational purpose? Is he the type of man I could trust with my vulnerability? Men who answered 2 literally do not realize they are breaking the moment. When a man says, I'm just looking for peace, or I'm taking each day as it comes, or I'm not sure, right? She hears something else. She hears drifting. And women do not invest themselves in men who drift, no matter the age. If you want to answer with masculine clarity, you do not need a long explanation. You do not need to reveal your whole life. You only need direction. You can say something like, I'm building a simpler, stronger chapter with the right people. Or, I am looking for connection that feels natural, not forced. Or, I am focusing on living with intention, experiences, and meaningful moments. These kinds of responses do 3 things for her. They show you are moving, not stuck. They show emotional clarity, that you know what you want, and they open a quiet space where she can imagine herself fitting into your direction. This is powerful for a woman. It gives her a signal. She hopes for proof that you are not emotionally asleep. Because here is something most men over 50 never fully realize. Women want a man who is alive inside, not just physically present, but emotionally awake. These 2 questions are deeply connected to female desire. And here is why women do not test men randomly. They test based on emotional readiness. When she asks, do you spend a lot of time alone? She's measuring your openness. When she asks, what are you looking for? These days, she is measuring your direction. And the logic is simple. A man who is open and moving with purpose creates emotional pull. He becomes someone worth leaning into. Women do not need perfection. They need clarity. Clarity gives safety, and safety awakens desire. This is why these 2 questions appear again and again, even if the woman does not consciously understand why she is asking them. Picture this in a real-life moment. You are talking with a woman maybe in a cafe, a bookstore, at a friend's place, or even online. The conversation feels smooth. There is ease, almost a soft tension. She laughs a little more than needed. She touches her hair. She looks at you with warmth. Then suddenly she asks, so, do you spend a lot of time alone? This is her first emotional step towards you. It is her opening the door slightly. If you respond with presence, she feels encouraged. If you answer with confusion or shut it down, the energy drops instantly. Later, minutes or days, she asks, what are you looking for? At the second question that defines attraction stage of your life. This is her second step. This is her deciding if she should go deeper. If you answer with clarity, she feels possibility. If you answer with uncertainty, she retreats. Men think these moments are random, but they are not. They are emotional checkpoints, and women almost never ask these 2 questions to a man. They do not feel something for, here's what you must never forget. A woman who wants intimacy will not say it openly. She will not confess it. She will not push herself on you. She will ask 2 questions. Are you open emotionally? Do you spend a lot of time alone? Are you emotionally alive? What are you looking for these days? These questions are not about your plans. They are about your energy. When you notice them, you enter the moment with presence. When you fail to notice them, the moment disappears. Women rarely offer the same emotional invitation twice. When they open a door, it is only once. If you remember just one thing, let it be this. A woman does not test your words. She tests your presence awareness. If you can recognize the question she uses to signal desire, you will never again wonder whether a woman is interested in you. Before you go, help this channel grow. Comment the phrase, I see the signs below to show you understood the message and are ready to use it. Your engagement helps this message reach more men who need it. Women communicate attraction in ways that are subtle, emotional, and often invisible to men who expect direct signals. What makes this especially important for mature men is that women see older men differently than they see younger ones. They expect more depth, more presence, and more clarity. A younger man can be confused, uncertain, or inconsistent, and still be seen as figuring out his life. But a man over 50 is judged by a different standard. Women assume he has lived through enough experiences to know who he is and what he wants. That is why their interest shows up through emotional signals rather than obvious gestures. When a woman asks questions that touch your openness or your direction, she's not just trying to get information. She's trying to feel your emotional landscape. She wants to know if approaching you, well, Christmas isn't about how older men fail or pass these tests give. It's about how deeply you see her, how fully you engage, and how intentionally you make her feel cherished. Christmas is not just about gifts, lights, or tradition. It is about presence, connection, and the subtle ways we make someone feel seen, valued, and loved. For a woman, the holiday can stir emotions more intensely than any other time of the year. It is about memories, expectations, and desires mingle, creating an emotional landscape that can be both beautiful and vulnerable. If you want to truly touch her heart this Christmas, it is not about spending lavishly or performing grand gestures. It is about three essential things that communicate understanding, care, and emotional intimacy. The first thing you must do is listen deeply. Not just hearing the words she says, but feeling the emotions behind them. This often brings reflection on the year gone by, on hopes, on losses, and on joys. When you listen without judgment or distraction, when you tune into her tone, her pauses, and the unspoken undercurrents of her words, you create a sacred space for connection. Deep listening is not passive. It is active presence. It signals that her inner life matters to you more than the superficial trappings of the season. You can notice when a man is genuinely attentive because it reflects emotional investment. This attentiveness is magnetic, nurturing, and memorable because it communicates that she is fully seen. The second thing you must do is create a moment of intimacy and warmth. This does not necessarily mean a romantic gesture, though it can include that. It means crafting an experience where she feels cherished, safe, and emotionally present with you. It could be a quiet walk in the evening lights, sharing a heartfelt conversation by the fireplace, or even creating a small ritual together that holds meaning. The final insight in relationship wisdom key is intentionality. Doing something that requires thought, presence, and emotional investment. Women are drawn to moments where effort is matched by authenticity, where the experience is personalized, and where attention is directed not at impressing, but at connecting. These moments linger in memory far longer than material gifts. The third thing you must do is acknowledge her uniquely. Every woman wants to feel recognized for who she truly is, not just as a partner, friend, or companion, but as a complex, vibrant individual. On Christmas, take the time to reflect on her qualities, her accomplishments, her quirks, and her impact on your life. A handwritten note, a meaningful compliment, or a gesture that celebrates her individuality communicates that she is understood and valued. Women respond deeply to acknowledgement because it touches the emotional core. They feel seen, appreciated, and emotionally connected. This creates a sense of closeness and loyalty that no decoration, expensive gift, or show of effort alone